All right, Cameron, next up we have Fancy Nancy, aspiring artist. It's spring vacation, so I should be ecstatic, joyous, and carefree. Those are all fancy words for happy. But I am not. Bria and her family just left for New York City, the glamour capital of our world. Wow. You're going to New York? That's crazy. My mom knows I am a little glum, which is sad in a fancy way. So when she comes back from grocery shopping, she has treats. A big box of crayons for my sister and a set of glitter markers for me. What a splendid parent my mother is. While I'm doodling with my new markers, inspiration strikes. That means I get an idea. I will turn my clubhouse into an art studio and spend my vacation making gorgeous works of art. Doodles don't really count as art, but I get some of my most splendid ideas while doodling. Wow, look how much coloring she's doing. Besides some supplies, that's fancy for markers, paints, and paper, all you need in an art studio is an artist. I'm wearing a smock and a beret. That's French for cap. Don't you think my beret makes me look more talented? My sister can only scribble. Even though scribbling doesn't count as real art, I tell her how beautiful her pictures are. Well, that's very nice, Nancy. Look at her in her art studio. In the afternoon, I have dance class. All over the studio are posters of ballerinas by a French artist named Edgar Degas. While I'm pliéing, suddenly, inspiration strikes. I return to my art studio and draw beautiful ballerinas, just like Edgar Degas did. Did you notice who all those ballerinas look like? Hee hee. Oh my gosh, they're Nancy. Wow. Degas, not Degas, oopsies. On Monday, I tell Miss Devine about my art studio. Her favorite artist is Claude Monet. She tells me he didn't like to work in a studio. He loved painting outdoors, even in winter. He'd wear 3 coats and a blankets to keep from freezing. Brr. Suddenly, inspiration strikes again. I would love to paint outdoors in your garden, just like Claude Monet. It was very sunny when I painted this. I call it tulips in the wind. Then some clouds came and I had to use darker colors to paint the same flowers. I call this more tulips in the wind. Wow, look at all those tulips. Aren't they pretty? She's a good artist. Tuesday. I invite my friend Lionel over today. He can act like a real goofball, but he's the most talented artist in our class. His faces are so good. Nobody does noses like Lionel. Not to brag, but I am the second most talented. You can ask anybody. Here's a portrait Lionel drew of me. A portrait is a picture of someone's face. Hee hee. I don't really have a mustache or a goatee. That's fancy for a short beard. Oh my gosh, look! He messed up her face! That's so silly. Then Lionel poses for me, but he keeps making crazy faces. Lionel is such a goofball. I know, Rory. I'm making videos for Cameron. Here's a joke Lionel told me. What color is a burp? Purple. Wednesday. Ooh la la, a letter from Bree. I adore getting mail, don't you? Look what she did on the back of the envelope. She wrote, "Swack." That means sealed with a kiss. Oh, look how excited she is, and look at all those silly faces. Here is the front of the card Bree sent. She went to a world-famous museum where she saw this picture by Henri Matisse. He made it from pieces of colored paper that he cut out. Inspiration strikes once more. I get construction paper, glue, scissors, and voila! I made a picture just like Henri Matisse did. Even the wings on real butterflies always match. Mine had 2 different wings. Artists are allowed to break rules. Oh, look at those pretty pictures. Gosh, this book is filled with great artists. Thursday. Even though I've been in the studio for hours, everything I draw today stinks. My mom comes in to tell me that Lionel's grandma called. She's taking him to a 3D movie and he wants you to come. Alas, I cannot go, I say. I'm waiting for inspiration to strike. Nancy, it's wonderful to be dedicated. That means you're working really hard, my mom tells me. But take a break. It will get your creative juices flowing again. My mother knows I listen better when she uses fancy words. Can you buy creative juice? No, it's just a fancy word for imagination. Look, there's some creative juice right there. And there's her mom trying to get her to go see the movie. My mom was right. After I get home, my creative juices start flowing. The movie was about really weird fish that live in the bottom of the ocean. Mine are imaginary. That means I made them up. Friday. For a special treat, my dad is taking us to the art museum. Lionel comes too. On the way over, he pretends to be car sick. My dad starts to pull over, but I explain that Lionel is just being a goofball. Look at all these pretty fish she drew. There's a tiara fish, a chandelure fish, and a tutu fish. Gosh, and look at there's Lionel pretending to be car sick. He's such a goofball. At the museum, there's a real painting by Claude Monet. I wish I knew a fancy word for how it makes me feel. All I can say is the colors make my eyes happy, and my heart happy too. Lionel says he likes this painting. At first I think he's kidding. It's just a bunch of black drips and blobs, but the harder I look at it, the more interesting it is. Some parts look lacy. One part is almost like a spider web. My dad really likes it too. This is the one Nancy likes, and this is the one not Lionel likes. I believe that's a Jackson Pollock. It looks really cool. My dad tells us once he saw a movie about the artist Jackson Pollock. Oh my gosh, I was right. He's put the canvas on the floor and poured the paint straight from the can. He also used paint sticks to make dribbles and all kinds of patterns. Inspiration strikes again. I turn to Lionel. We could make a big painting just like Jackson Pollock. We'll do it tomorrow when Bree is back. Saturday. At last, Bree and I are reunited. That's fancy for being back together. I tell her it's officially Jackson Pollock Day. Not really, but doesn't it sound important? Whoa, look, she's back finally. Oh, wow, I hope she had a good time. My parents spread out a sheet in the backyard and find leftover cans of paint in the house. We wear old clothes, put on hip-hop music for inspiration, and then, ooh la la, we fling and flick paint. We make swirls and splatters. We drip and dribble. We are painting and dancing all at the same time. Jackson Pollock was a very serious professional artist, but making painting this way was silly and fun. Whoa, look how crazy they're going. Man, that's going to look wicked when it's done. Later, I show Bree all my art from this week. She shows me her sketches from New York City. My mom tells Lionel to stop sticking carrot sticks up his nose. Then she says, you all have so much art, you should have an art show. What a splendid idea! We all hang our artwork on the clothesline. We make a sign in the front yard announcing the exhibit. Exhibit is a fancy word for show. Whoa, look at all their artwork. They've been working really hard. Sunday, our art exhibition, Our art exhibit is a smashing success. That's a fancy word to say everyone had a good time and tells us how talented they are. Whoa, that's a crazy amount of art. Look how pretty it is. What a cool art show. I give Miss Devine one of the paintings I did in her garden. I tell her, I can't believe how tired my hands are from all the art I made this week. Miss Devine says she knows the perfect remedy for aching artist hands. A manicure. I hope you enjoyed that book, Cam Jam. I'll see you in the next video.